Welcome back to the next. My name is Alistair, and today we are continuing Dragon Age Origins. Last we left off, we finally left Lothering, and now we are in camp with a bunch of people to talk to, so this might be a boring episode. There's a lot of conversation with people. Without further ado, let's just get started, eh? What did I say again? I'm not Canadian. Lilliana.
Yes?
We're twinsies, yo. I like to talk.
Well, here I am.
That vision of yours.
I knew this would come up sooner or later. I don't know how to explain.
She's crazy.
But I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise. I stood on a peak and watched as the darkness consumed everything. And when the storm swallowed the last of the sun's light, I fell. And the darkness drew me in.
You dreamed of the Blight?
I suppose I did. That was what the darkness was, no? When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rose bush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. But there it was, a single beautiful rose. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith.
And this made you want to help me?
In my dream, I fell. Or maybe I jumped. I'd do anything to stop the Blight. I know that we can do it. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the Blight devours everything?
Blight is the Maker's punishment. Would you defy him?
I don't know. He made this world. He could destroy it. But there is so much worth saving. You're such a pessimist.
Oh, I didn't like that.
Yes?
I'm sorry.
Well, here I am.
I was laughing at Chantry Cloister.
Quiet. It was a life suited for contemplation. In the cloister, away from the fuss and the flurry of the cities, I found peace. And in that stillness, I could hear the Maker. But it was not perfect. Some of my Chantry fellows were condescending. That is the nature of religious folk, I suppose.
Condescending? How so?
When I talked about my beliefs, that the Maker reveals himself in the beauty of his world, they treated me with disdain. They want to believe that he's gone, so that when he turns his gaze on them, it means they are special, chosen. He cannot possibly have love for all, the sick and the weary, the beggars and the fools.
What did you say to them?
What can I say to them? What they believe is what the Chantry says, and the Chantry is infallible, yes? Maybe I am wrong. But it is the Maker's place to decide if I am worthy, not men, not the Chantry. But there is work to be done, and I have talked enough for now. Yes?
Alright, I'll have to talk.
Well, here I am.
Damn right you are. What were you doing with someone in Lothering? What would someone like you be doing in Lothering's Chantry?
What is meant by someone like me?
You're not a beautiful, charming woman like yourself?
And there were no beautiful, charming women in the cloisters, you think? You would be wrong. There were many lovely young initiates in the Lothering cloister, all of them chaste and virtuous. It added to their mystique, because then they were forbidden, and forbidden fruit is the sweeter, no?
What about your fruit? Is it forbidden?
My fruit? I can't believe I'm having this conversation. But no, I did not take vows. The Chantry provides succor and safe harbor to all who seek it. I chose to stay and become affirmed.
So your skills were learned before your time in the Chantry.
I was a traveling minstrel in Orlais. Tales and songs were my life. I performed, and they rewarded me with applause and coin. And my skill in battle? Well, you pick up different skills when you travel, yes? Yes, of course. Let's move on.
I got a little bit of points I lost because she thought I was a pessimist. Pessimist. Wow, words. Wow, I was like, where's Alistair? He's right here.
What do you need?
You want to talk about Duncan?
You don't have to do that. I know you didn't know him as long as I did.
Well, it doesn't mean he's like a father to you. Understand?
I should have handled it better. Duncan warned me right from the beginning that this could happen. Any of us could die in battle. I shouldn't have lost it. Not with so much as riding on us. Not with the blight and everything. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It's okay, Alistair. You're my boo. No harm done.
I'd like to have a proper funeral for him. Maybe once this is all done, if we're still alive. I don't think he had any family to speak of.
He had you.
I suppose he did. It probably sounds stupid, but part of me wishes I was with him, in the battle. I feel like I abandoned him.
I don't want to say it's stupid, because it's not stupid. I understand. I understand completely.
Of course.
Because my
I'd be dead
parents.
then, wouldn't I? It's not like that would make him happier. I think he came from Hyeva, or so he said. Maybe I'll go up there sometime.
Oh yeah, that's where I'm from.
See about putting up something in his honor. I don't know. Have you had someone close to you die? Not that I mean to pry, I'm just...
My entire family was just murdered recently.
Oh, of course. How stupid of me to forget. Here I am going on and on about Duncan, and you... I am so sorry. Thank you. Really, I mean it. It was good to talk about it, at least a little.
Nah, maybe I'll go to However with you when you go.
I'd like that.
It's my home.
So would he, I think.
What are you barking at? Dang it, Dino, what are you barking at?
Oh, why you little...
Are you harassing my dog?
Me? Harassing your dog? I should say it's the other way round. Your furry friend here took offense at me getting near his food. He snapped at me, look.
There's hardly any blood drawn, still he shouldn't have.
Sometimes I forget that he's a war dog. That'll teach me.
Well, I mean, is he a war dog though? He kind of just grew up with me, so it's more of a house dog.
I once heard a really old legend about how the Hound warriors in the days of the old tribes would feed their Mabari the flesh of the vanquished.
Well, that's what I heard anyway. It would sometimes be human flesh.
I love the dog.
Oh, like you can tell the difference. For all you know, maybe you've already been fed something. Someone.
If you had it, you probably wouldn't know. It was probably tasty.
Oh, look at what your fool dog placed in my pack. A putrid, half-eaten hare is not something a woman wants to find in her unmentionables.
Why doesn't he share his food with me?
You are welcome to this if you really want it. The dirty mongrel can have this back. There. And tell him not to do it again.
It was a gift. You can't just throw it away like that.
I just did.
Poor doggy.
I don't want it, you worthless fur bag.
Hey! I think you hurt his feelings.
Oh, he's just trying to be manipulative, I can tell. I do it too.
Fair enough. I think that's all for him right now. Alistair, you want to talk more? I have to ask you something. What can a Templar do exactly?
Essentially, they're trained to fight. The Chantry would tell you that the Templars exist simply to defend. But don't let them fool you. They're an army.
The other main purpose for a Templar is, of course, to hunt mages. To that end, we train in talents that drain mana and disrupt spells.
So Templars use magic themselves?
You could call it that, sure. The Chantry doesn't look on it the same way, however, since really our talents only work on mages. Against a regular person, I'm just a guy in a metal suit.
You hunted many mages?
No, I never actually became a full Templar. Duncan recruited me before I took my vows. I was only present during one harrowing. The ritual that they test the mages with. It's not unlike our joining, really. And just as deadly. The girl they tested, she had a demon put inside her to see if she could resist. And she couldn't. We had to end it quickly. I have to say I didn't have much interest in becoming a Templar after that.
So, couldn't others learn these talents?
Perhaps, but there usually isn't much of an opportunity. The Chantry keeps a close rein on its Templars. We are given lyrium to help develop our magical talents, you see. Which means we become addicted. And since the Chantry controls the lyrium trade with the dwarves, well, I'm sure you can put two and two together.
Well, it's horrible.
Well, they do it, and they feel perfectly justified. You don't need
That is
lyrium
pretty
in
bad,
order to
though.
learn the Templar talents. Lyrium just makes Templar's talents more effective, or so I was told. Maybe it doesn't even do that. The Chantry usually doesn't let their Templars get away either, so they can spread their secrets. I'm a bit of an exception. Lucky me.
Okay.
What do you need? Ask away.
It's a lot of stuff. So you said this Earl Eamon raised you?
Oh, did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfells. A whole pack of them, in fact.
That's not what I remember you telling Flemeth.
Well, if you're going to go and pay attention to the facts, then fine. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Earl Eamon wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough.
So he wasn't your father, so you know who is?
I know who I was told was my father. He died even before my mother did, anyhow. It isn't important. Earl Eamon eventually married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, then you, Alistair, resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Earl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10. Just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
What an awful thing to do to a child.
Maybe. She felt threatened by my presence, I can see that now. I can't say I blame her. She wondered if the rumors were true herself, I bet. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid thing to do. The Earl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped
It's actually kind
coming.
of sad. You were young.
And raised by dogs. Or I may as well have been, the way I acted. But maybe all young bastards act like that. I don't know. All I know is that the Earl is a good man, and well loved by the people. He also was King Caelan's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. Anyway,
Oh, yeah,
that's
probably.
really all there is to the story.
Interesting. A little bit more to
What
him.
do you need?
I have to ask you something.
Ask away.
Oh my god, there's so much. Why have you remained a Templar if you hit the Chantry?
Have you seen the uniform? It's not only stylish, but well made. I'm a sucker for good tailoring.
I thought Templars wore heavy plate mostly.
That's just in public. In private, we have these yellow and purple tunics, right? Much more comfortable, and you don't break the beds when you jump on them during a pillow fight.
Yeah, lots of pillow fights, I take it?
On confession day, we could go all night. Being a Templar isn't all about chasing men in skirts and hiding behind priests, you know. You don't really want to know about my being a Templar, do you? It's really quite boring.
Make up something more exciting.
You know, I like the way you think. But I guess if you're really curious, there's no harm in obliging. I have a couple of interesting looking moles I can show you later.
Woo!
The truth of the matter is that I did hate going to the monastery. The initiates from poor families thought I put on airs, while the noble ones called me a bastard and ignored me. I felt like Al-Eamon had cast me off unwanted, and I was determined to be bitter. But I took some solace in the training itself, I guess. I was actually quite good at it.
What did you enjoy about the training?
The education, mostly, but also the discipline. You need to have a disciplined mind in order to use the abilities we have. It was difficult, but rewarding. I never really felt at home anywhere, though, until I joined the Grey Wardens. And Duncan felt my Templar abilities might be useful for when we encountered Darkspawn magic, so I kept it up. What about you? Do you have anywhere you consider home?
My home was thinking about how.
Right. Stupid of me to ask. I'm sorry. We won't always be traveling like this, you know. Once the war is over, once the Blight is... well, a time will come when we'll have to think about having a real home again. Though that seems like a far ways off. And I suppose the Grey Wardens are gone for good. Either way.
Still the ones in Orlais. They can be rebuilt.
I suppose you're right. We can create new Grey Wardens, but we'll never get back those we lost. I wonder if it would ever feel the same. Anyhow, now I've sidetracked us. We'd better get back to what we're supposed to be doing right now.
True. Let's talk to Sten.
Why are we stopping?
Working together, I think I should get to know you.
There are Darkspawn to be fought. Is this delay needful?
Are you alright? You were in the case for weeks.
You are concerned. No need. I am fit enough to fight.
I never seen a Canary before. Can you tell me about your people?
No.
No? Why not?
People are not simple. They cannot be summarized for easy reference in the manner of... The elves are a lithe, pointy-eared people who excel at poverty.
Oh, you said you were in the army.
I am.
What made you decide to be a soldier?
Beside, I am a Sten of the Beresad. I did not choose to be who I am any more than you did.
You ever fought in a war?
I have always fought in war, human.
So you must know your way on a battlefield.
Some of them. They aren't all alike.
Are you always this bad at answering questions?
Generally. I do not see how this matters. Seheron and Parvolan are distant. Ferelden and the Darkspawn are immediate.
What's your hurry?
What a strange language you speak. You say hurry, where I would say duty.
That's your duty to handle the Blight, though.
No, it is yours, and you are chatting with me instead.
Maybe you should get moving.
As you wish.
You're a very grumpy ass. Just saying.
Yes.
Anything else you want to yell at me about? What were you doing in that cage?
Sitting, as you observed.
Cute. You're the silent type, I see.
Your grasp of the obvious is remarkable.
You're impossible.
I know. Parshera, was there anything else?
I want to discuss something
Speak,
you
then.
mentioned. That's enough for
Then I
now.
suggest we move on.
I have a question,
I
maybe?
am hardly surprised.
Rude. Why did you come to Ferelden?
to answer a question.
Came all the way for that?
For someone so dismissive of questions, you ask a great many.
What was the answer?
Were you not at Ostagar when the army was overwhelmed? That is your answer.
Why would don't you have to report back then?
Yes.
What are you still doing here then?
I cannot go home.
Well, you can stay with us.
Thank you. Can we move on? We keep the Darkspawn waiting.
Alright, let's go.
As you wish.
Short and simple, I like Sten. Holy crap, plus 16? What? What? I'm an idiot. What time was it? Alright, I'm just going to call it here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.